With Amazon fees going up, we're going to start to see some D2C brands turn Amazon off and just go on Shopify. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and that's exactly what Bethan Higson did with her product Mother Root. And I'm going to read her post and kind of break down and analyze a little bit of this. So we pulled the plug on our Amazon cash cow, and you won't believe what happened next. Sounds like a clickbait title, right? But that's exactly what we did. We paused our fastest growing, most profitable sales channel, Amazon, just as we hit UK bestseller status. Were we mad? Maybe. But we had a hunch that a lot of the growth from Amazon was taking away from Shopify, which means less data in Meta, higher CPAs, and lower confidence in spend. We knew the only thing to do was follow our gut and test the theory by turning Amazon off and see what happened next. Let me set the scene. Amazon was skyrocketing, week-on-week growth, ROAS through the roof, each purchase profitable. Meanwhile, our D2C acquisition costs were ballooning, profits sliding. Conventional wisdom says double down on Amazon, right? Well, in this case, wrong. We did the unthinkable and binned Amazon off, gambling on a hunch that it would improve our D2C sales as Amazon customers migrate back to our website, allowing Meta to optimize faster and improve conversion performance overall. So she's switching one devil for another, guys. Heart in mouth, we flipped the switch two Fridays ago. Day one, Amazon sales nosedive, website sales didn't budge. Was this an expensive mistake? Day two, website sales ticked up, but just a bit. Maybe we were wrong. Day three, whoop, best sales day in weeks, lowest CPA since December. Our hunch looked like it was paying off. The past couple of weeks, we immediately saw CPAs lower, CM3 improve, and therefore we have been able to increase spend again and restart our prior pace of experimentation. So what's next for Amazon? We know there are some sales we're missing out on not being on there right now, and we've not yet decided where we're going to go next on that channel. But if you've got thoughts on this, I'd love to hear in the comments. Moral of the story, your P&L only tells half the tale. Trust your instincts. Take those risks to uncover the opportunities for growth. All right, so this one's a talker on LinkedIn. Over almost 300 people have liked the post, 100 comments. Me personally, I'd be very scared to make this move, but I do think others are going to begin testing this, and that's exactly what I wrote here. But I do think some of these comments are going to be interesting, and I also have a prediction. I bet you by end of year, Mother Root will be back on Amazon. There's a variety of reasons for this. Yes, they're going to think going D2C is going to be cooler and they get all the data, but then when they got so much data, they never use it. It's not going to matter. It's going to cost them more to actually run the business, D2C, the shipping costs. And this is probably a UK-based company only dealing with UK. And if they were in the United States, there's no way they could deal with the logistics hurdles and all the things that go on over in the US, coast to coast. They're not going to be able to have 2-day shipping in the United States. They probably could in the UK though. And just a lot of other challenges, right? So think about how they're now going to have their own warehouse or a 3PL, lots and lots of challenges. But let's go to the comments to see what everybody else is saying. And I know a lot of people are going to be tempted to do this, which is why I shot this video, right? Because fees are going up on Amazon. Oh my gosh, what can we do? Can't go over to TikTok or Temu because, the Chinese are not our savior. Just not a lot of options right now. Facebook also was hit by Apple's update a couple of years ago. I wouldn't say their ads are even worth half as well as Amazon ads, even though Amazon ads are up on price. Tony says, I would just cut off the PPC on Amazon, but keep selling there. This way you can see how strong your brand really is. I kind of like Tony's idea. If you're thinking about like bailing on Amazon and you just try and make your PPC as profitable as possible, maybe you shut it off, pause it while you're testing Shopify. I think that's way better than flat out turning it off. Definitely agree with that. Dylan writes, create Amazon specific SKUs, use as customer acquisition, funnel the core products on your site. We've also seen a lot of Amazon-specific products be used like that. Maybe you get a smaller product. Maybe you have a different SKU altogether. We've seen that work for some brands. But the larger your brand gets, your distribution is going to end up selling your product on Amazon anyway. And I think that's what's going to happen here, right? So, if Mother Root ends up in physical stores, one of the distributors are going to load it on Amazon anyway, right? So there's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't component. A lot of people talking about QR codes and how to do what. Blair says, what happens in 3 months when Sally from San Diego jumps on your listing? Oop, we got Blair commenting. Let's go back to that. I think Blair's got a good point here, by the way. What happens in 3 months when Sally from San Diego jumps on your listing, floors the price, and now you look e-com sales and Amazon sales? So they're still at a stage where they've got control over distribution, which is kind of what I was getting at, right? Like if they don't have distribution control, this won't work. They're going to run into a problem there. Cormac says, this seems risky. Consumers want to buy where they want to buy and would be interested to see the long-term results here on the total revenue. So I think Cormac really hits this one home, right? So like if you try and force the customer to buy where you want to sell, your results won't be as good as if you had just gone to where the customer wants to be. I think that's a fantastic point, right? Amazon is a monopoly. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, fees are going up, but that's where the consumer is. You got to deal with that. You got to figure out how to solve for that. James Wakefield with the kill shot, 90% of UK shoppers are registered on Amazon, not your website. Excluding those shoppers won't convince the vast majority of them to find your website and purchase directly. LTV is more important than CPA. Good point there, lifetime value over cost per acquisition. While Lead points out that they don't have enough data to make a full determination, definitely agree with that. Mohammed says if your loyal customers were buying through Amazon only, then you're right, but you're missing out on the generic demand there's there that will not follow to your website. Very good point. The consumer is going to buy where they want to buy. Baldwin says that's a brave decision, risky move because it could impact your Amazon rankings campaign data. Well, they don't care about that anymore. They're kind of basically saying like, whatever, not going to sell on Amazon, so they're not going to care about how they rank. But special deals on Shopify while keeping Amazon active could have allowed you to gather data without risking your Amazon presence. That's true. So yeah, if you shut Amazon off and then go back, guess what? You're starting all over it. What's the fundamental rule on Amazon I always talk about? What's rule number 1? Never go out of stock. Well, this is exactly that, right? Like it's going to violate rule number 1, never go out of stock. It's also going to violate rule number 2. No, seriously, never go out of stock. So if you turn it off physically, that's going out of stock. So your rankings are going to be toast. It's going to be a problem. Definitely some big risk takers with that. Viral says, big gamble. Glad it paid off. Johnny says 40 to 50% search for a product starts out on Amazon. They're not going to see the out of stock and go off Googling where to buy it. What will mitigate those who are already customers and were checking out on Amazon for convenience? You'll simply lose those on the platform looking for similar products rather than brand name. All channel diversification, but switching it off Amazon is madness on the long term. What I would have done, I've been doing this for 20 years, is analyze why it's cannibalizing D2C sales and building a strategy to leverage both. There are hundreds of ways to do this without hesitation or exception. You're leaving 25 to 35% of revenue on the table, excluding Amazon. I'm going to give him a like because I agree with that. So there's all these people just piling in the comment section talking about why this is ridiculous, ludicrous, crazy, all those kinds of things. Multiple people saying create a custom SKU. A lot of people saying that's brave, but, premium beauty brands, strong case for inclusion due to vast reach, built-in trust, unique customer journey though. Brave move, lots of AI comments with brave move. George says, interesting take. I think 3 days worth of data is far too small to judge here. And we're running the experiment for a month, is what Bethon says. The data so far suggests that almost everyone who would have purchased on Amazon is instead purchasing on D2C. I don't believe that. I do think that there is a lot of people who are willing to buy in D2C, but I'll be honest, the last time I bought something directly from a website, 3 years ago. I buy everything on Amazon. I really don't want to buy from your website. Why? Because your website sucks. It sucks. I don't want to put my credit card in a second time. I don't even know when you're going to ship me the item. Like that's really hard to compete with on Amazon. A lot of people speculating that things are going to turn south over the next month or 3 months. A lot of people speculative. Feels like you're shooting yourself in the foot for limited reason. To be honest, says George. The general data shows D2C brands launching on Amazon see a 20 to 30% increase in sales. not cannibalize from their own Amazon sales. I don't see why Mother Root would be any different. You're also missing out on sales from customers that will find you organically on the Amazon platform. Those are typically new to brand customers, this with high LTV. Great point there. All right, so let's see who else has got a good point. Logic is whatever approach leads to better numbers for them, but what I remember from about the non-alc space, search traffic is mostly driven by terms relating to normal alcoholic drinks. So Mother Root wouldn't really benefit from these apart from maybe non-alcoholic spirits, which is lower volume, crazily competitive. So maybe it means Amazon sales are almost entirely brand aware customers from their other paid activity. In their case, that would be very rare, by the way. It's pretty clear to me that they're driving everything with Facebook traffic. And so Facebook traffic could optimize better through a website. And I do buy that argument. But I don't buy is that Amazon is worth shutting off, right? Like, yes, it sucks. Yes, all the costs are going up. PPC, FBA fees, low inventory fees, all that garbage, true. But you could limit those exposures and still push D2C. Give them an incentive to buy from your website. So if you're giving consumers, they're landing on your website, and then they leave the website and go to Amazon to buy, what does that tell us? That tells us they don't like your website experience. They don't have a benefit, right? They don't have Prime. They don't have a bonus. They don't get extra love, better customer service. None of those things exist on your website, but they do on Amazon. So I think that's a big, bold move. Yep. Now, there are a lot of people saying bold. Josh says it's been a great experiment to run, and how collaboratively we worked on this is why it's so important to measure incremental conversions, incremental CPA, incremental CM3 all the time. Every channel you use is incentivized to tell you did a good job. What they won't offer you is for free what happens if you weren't doing that activity. The only way to see this stuff is your blended metrics. I really have no idea what that guy just said. James says, that's an interesting experiment. For most brands, we are having both Amazon and D2C live is the way to go. Provides the most efficient way to acquire new customers. It looks like you're potentially turning off a large pool of customers, which is brave move, especially when you're growing quickly and profitable. I agree. A lot of people dialoguing on this one. Fabian says, increase prices on Amazon. You will notice you get away with 10, 20% higher prices on Amazon than you will your website due to Amazon's trust. Instead of switching it off, find the perfect markup for Amazon. Now, this is great in theory until Amazon shuts off your buy box, all right? Like, because they're a monopoly and they can't do that, which is ridiculous. We know Amazon's important in the long term. We just want to do this experiment as the quickest way to determine the incremental value it brings. All right, so now we get the full-on admission. They're going to be back by end of year, which was my prediction earlier in the video. Right, so we know they're not going to keep it off. They're just want to know what the impact is. Yeah, I get it. Here's an alternative view. I used to buy your product every month, and I'm a big fan of yours. Now buying Gimber, a competitor through Amazon. Still love your product, but convenience trumps things. Sorry. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, boom goes the dynamite. That's the mic drop right there. No idea what this Alice person is saying. All right. Some smiley faces. Love this. Brave, but well thought throughout. No, it wasn't. They're gonna be reeling. They're gonna come back, and they're gonna have a harder time getting Amazon back up. And then they're gonna blame Amazon for sucking for the reason for going off of it. Ironically, it's gonna be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Jeremy says, sort of, yes, your meta ads were driving Amazon sales. So now that people can't get it on their preferred channel, they're buying it from the site, but you're missing the halo effect of selling both channels and the much bigger opportunity of scaling to hit critical mass on significant bigger marketplace. Instead of looking at meta spend against one channel, you should be measuring performance across both channels to see where your total blended performance is. Easier said than done. Meta tracking in Amazon stinks. Hardly anyone has got that one cracked. Even if they do, it's partial at best. Amazon will almost definitely convert a higher rate than your website, probably losing some incremental revenue and profits by shutting it off. No response from the company on that one, because that was a good one. Love this. Think we can be guilty of tinkering around margins and dancing around issues. It's better just be bold, take the punt, and see what happens. I don't know. That's a pretty big punt here. Let's see. Keep going. Trying to skip the AI comments, trying to find the real juicy stuff. Hard to tell sometimes. Love the experimental approach. If your Amazon sales are close enough to your website sales to justify turning Amazon off, my initial thoughts is that you might be getting too many branded sales on Amazon rather than converting on broader niche and specific keywords. I would analyze your search query performance report. I love me some search query performance report, guys. I love me some ICAPs, some impressions, clicks, added carts, and purchases. Got to definitely check that out. FBA Excel tool being referenced here. Data Dive tools being referenced here as well. Both are great tools. I've used both. What a bold move, says Henrique. Shashir says wicked move. Whew. They tweaked their AI to make a wicked comment instead of bold. Henry says, great story. I love the insight. We lasted about 2 months on Amazon for slightly different reasons, but one of the biggest issues with customers we found us on Amazon made their first purchase on Amazon is they had very little connection to our brand and mission. That means 90% of customers will never have a connection to your mission. What is your mission? Nobody cares. That's the point. They just want to use your product. And yes, it just made no sense to pay 15% to sell to customers we already had and have no customer data for either segment. You pay more than 15% to run your website, sir. I guarantee it. But we are launching a new brand next month and see Amazon as a huge opportunity. So even despite all that, they're still going to sell on Amazon. So I would love to hear anyone's experience launching a brand on Amazon versus moving an existing brand to sell on Amazon. And your thought on starting it out just on the website is a better play to build some credibility before jumping on marketplaces. All right, I'm going to write him a response. All right, wrote my comment. I basically think you can launch and succeed on Amazon in 6 weeks, D2C 3 to 6 months. Now, I didn't say profitable. I said succeed as the keyword here. And that's because you're going to have fast data to figure out whether people are going to buy the product on Amazon. Chris says, like Google, Amazon also game this relationship between paid and organic listing performance, often to the detriment of your site. They also have the budget to drive traffic for your products via Google search to Amazon, spending multiple millions per day. Definitely a place for paid ads on Amazon if you're in a highly saturated category, if you have the margins to take the hit for volume's sake. But Mother Root is in a distinct and emerging category, which doesn't demand this approach today. Good digging. Seen more and more Amazon sellers transition to TikTok Shop. Who is actually transitioned to TikTok Shop? I don't know anybody. I know people say they're doing it. I know there's a couple of less than 50K sales a year sellers going to TikTok Shop, but like the frick are you getting on TikTok Shop? Like there's nobody buying there. Have you bought from TikTok Shop? I mean, come on, let's be real. Igor, I would just keep turning Amazon on and off to keep listed as top sellers so you can take advantage of their database. I don't know about that. You're not going to keep top seller if you turn it on and off. Impressive results. How do you plan to approach Amazon in the future? Will you continue to prioritize DTC sales? Yep, they're probably going to do that. Fascinating and generous for you to share this. Ordered you from the first time a few months ago via your site, and the world didn't end because it didn't arrive the next day. Glad it did arrive, though, because it's delicious. Okay, all right. We got somebody talking about it. That's a real person right there. Lauren says, kudos for experimenting, following your gut. I guess it comes naturally judging by your product, which I tried today, coincidentally, or brands that make content and post about their stuff. People are going to interact with it. So were these two sales channels isolated or your business used their FBA? Wouldn't that be funny if they were shipping it out of FBA Prime for their website anyway? It's like... What's the difference at that point? I didn't read this as this is what we're doing forever, but it's a great experiment. She's right. They're going to do it for probably a month or two and then run back and then reset everything. So many people search for products and buy on Amazon. You're losing out on sales. True. What a bold move. Another AI. Super interesting experiment and well told. Net, you have modeled how you'll know how much of the sales uptick is Amazon customers migrating to the website. Good to read about some bold thinking in action. Probably another AI comment. Here's my dumb question. Why is ROAS meaningful if it is negatively correlates with profits? Interesting question. You lose many of the S&S customers. Subscribe and save. People need convenience these days. If they won't find you on Amazon, most of them are likely to purchase similar products from a competitor. Many people making this buy from a competitor comment. Another bold move, AI comment. Interesting take on this. Have you done any digging into AMC to see what your Amazon customer profile looks like versus D2C? For most brands, we've done this. There's been a marked difference, says Mark. Writes and speak about how the digital spend by Dr. Squatch benefits from both their D2C and Amazon channels. I've learned a lot from Jamie Roller. This is bold, bold. Every single AI comment, bold, bold, bold. This was really brave or brave. I've worked with a lot of clients who use Amazon as a quick win. And if you have the budgets, it can be a great way of getting exposure, but long-term, it's not always the best option for the reasons you identified. Amazon has its place, but not should be your principal route to market. I disagree, by the way. I think it's easier to market on Amazon, faster to go to market. I've launched hundreds of brands on Amazon for the very reasons we've seen other commenters make. Cassie says this is something commonly see in the D2C market, even though Amazon's a great channel to have due to convenience, it does dilute from other channels. Well done on making the jump. Congratulations. Insightful, interesting, brave recovery. Results have been really interesting. Great collaboration, great insight, fantastic story. Whether I've gambled on big changes, even as Phil, what you learn is the power of your future growth. Best wishes. Amazing work. Sharpening the saw. Right. So about 10 really good comments in this chain. And I felt like it was important to bring this kind of awareness up because we're going to see a lot of people start talking about this over the next year or two. But my prediction, no brand that turns Amazon off won't end up going back. Like most of these brands, 90% of these brands are going to go back to Amazon after they test going off, realizing it's freaking hard to do this off of Amazon. They're going to remember the blessings of the logistics piece, a la Prime. They're going to remember the fact that the conversion rate on Amazon is freaking 10%, sometimes 15% for some products and categories. They're going to remember the organic traffic where you don't even have to advertise, you get sales just by being present. All of these things are the reasons why I sold on Amazon, why you sell on Amazon, why I have 400 brands at my agency that sell on Amazon. You can't turn Amazon off. I do think it's worth minor diversification strategies, loading on Walmart, dabbling in Target, testing Etsy if you're a handmade product, testing Temu and TikTok Shop, because you never know, right? But I'm not holding my breath. But at the end of the day, Amazon's ROI is so much better than all these other platforms. There's a concept called native-born Amazon brand. You'll never hear about a native-born Walmart brand. It doesn't exist. None of these products that succeed on Amazon have done better somewhere else, right? It just doesn't happen. Now, there are some D2C brands that do worse on Amazon. That is a true statement, right? I've worked with some of those. One of the biggest mobile case providers in the United States bombed on Amazon, but does really well D2C. There's all kinds of products out there. They're going to have a unique channel proposition, no question about it. But if you succeed on Amazon today, why turn it off? Why put all that hard work to waste? Going out of stock is going to be so much more painful for your brand. All right, so those are some of my thoughts. What do you guys think in the comments? Are you going to be tempted to turn Amazon off? I know a few of you are going to be tempted. Don't do it, but you're going to be tempted. Diversify, go play on DTC for a bit, see if you can do it, but like give it a 90-day college try. Like it's not easy. It's really, really tough, in fact. All right, my name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and if you need help with Amazon, check us out at myamazonguy.com. Watch these videos next on how to grow your sales. Thanks for watching.